So let us start on with revision of Accounting Standard 1, disclosures of accounting policy. This revision will be covered in two parts. The first part we'll very quickly cover the concepts covered in the accounting standard, and the second part we'll cover some very important practical questions related to the accounting standard, because from the core exam perspective it is extremely important that you know how to draft your answer and how to present it well so that you score full marks. So now let us start AS1, disclosures of accounting policy. This standard basically requires a reporting enterprise to make a disclosure of all the accounting policies which it has followed in the preparation and presentation of the financial statement, because it is believed that plain by reading the numbers on the financial statement you do not develop a very deep understanding of the financial statement. The basis on which these numbers are derived and put in the financial statement are extremely important to form a meaningful understanding of the financial statement, and the basis on which these numbers are derived are the accounting policies followed by the enterprise in preparation of the financial statement. For example, if the enterprise want to deal with inventory, it will look at accounting standard 2. While dealing with investments, it will look at accounting standard 13. While dealing with PP, it will look at requirement of accounting standard 10. So these standards would give the way in which the items have to be dealt with, and in turn these will be known as the accounting policies. So why do you need to make disclosure of accounting policy? For meaningful understanding of the financial statement, and once you have a meaningful understanding of the financial statement, it will become easy to compare the financial statement of various enterprise. So let us look at how the accounting policy have been defined in the standard. In the most simple sense, accounting policies would mean certain set of rules, guiding principles or conventions which the enterprise has followed and adopted in the preparation and presentation of the financial statement. So accounting policy refers to specific accounting principles and the methods adopted for applying those principles, right, by the management or the enterprise in the preparation and presentation of the financial statement. So I have already said that the various accounting policies will be derived from the various accounting standards which have been issued by the ICAI. So is there a single list, right, which the management will look at and will adopt? No, because various enterprise deal in complex and diverse scenario, right? Each enterprise will have a different line of business. They have a different compliance structure, regulatory structure, the method in which they operate will be different. So since they operate in complex and diverse economic environment, there cannot be a single list of accounting policy which could be adopted. So how do the enterprise adopt the accounting policy? It requires judgment on the part of the management. Basically, all the accounting standard will give accounting policy choices, and based on the facts and circumstances in which the enterprise is operating, the management will have to use its judgment and select an appropriate accounting policy which will reflect their operations in the best possible way. For example, accounting standard 2, it gives an option that either you can choose a FIFO method for valuation of inventory or you can follow weighted average method. So now the management will have to determine that what is the consumption pattern of their inventory, and based on the consumption pattern of their inventory, they will have to make an appropriate accounting policy. Now, why do we disclose accounting policy? Already covered better understanding of the financial statement and meaningful comparison. Now we'll talk about fundamental accounting assumptions. See, there are certain rules or conventions which are assumed to be followed and adopted by the enterprise in the preparation and presentation of the financial statement. So anybody who is reading the financial statement will assume that these fundamental accounting assumptions have been followed while preparation of these financial statements. So these fundamental accounting assumptions underlie the preparation and presentation of the financial statement. If you are following this is mandatory, you need to follow it. So if you are following these fundamental accounting assumption, you don't need to give a specific disclosure of the fact that you have followed these principles. But if you have not followed these fundamental accounting assumptions in preparation and presentation of your financial statement, then you need to make a specific disclosures that we have departed, we have not followed these fundamental accounting assumptions. What are these fundamental accounting assumptions? We normally call it as GCA. A. We normally call it as GCA, going concern, consistency and accrual. Let us deal with each one of them. First, going concern. It says that normally an enterprise is viewed as a going concern that is continuing in operations in the foreseeable future. It neither has the necessity nor the intention to materially curtail the scale of its operation. So whenever somebody is reading a financial statement, he or she will assume that this enterprise will continue in the foreseeable future. It neither has the necessity nor it has the intention to close down its business. Second, consistency. This principle states that you should consistently adopt and follow the accounting policies which you have followed in the prior year. So somebody who is reading the financial statement will assume the fact that those accounting policies which have been followed in the prior period are the accounting policies which have been used in the current period for preparation and presentation of the financial statement. So you should not change your accounting policies off and on. You should be consistently applying those policies over a period of time. Then accrual. See, there are two bases on which accounting is done: cash basis and accrual basis. Right? So the fundamental accounting assumption is accrual basis. It says that any financial statement which has been made and presented, we'll assume that these have been prepared on the basis of accrual basis of accounting. What does these accrual basis of accounting say? That it says that the income and the expenses for the current period should be recorded in the current period, irrespective of the fact whether cash has been received or have been paid for the expenses or not. It identifies the period concept. All the income and all the expense for the period should be recorded in the period itself. Now see, we have already said that there is no single list of accounting policy, and the management of the enterprise is responsible to use its judgment and select the accounting policies. So what should be the thought process in the mind of the management, right? What should be the consideration while selecting these accounting policies? It says that whatever accounting policy you choose, you should keep in mind that when you follow those accounting policies, right, and make your financial statement, those financial statements should project a true and fair view of the state of affairs as presented by the balance sheet and of the profitability of the company as presented by the statement of profit and loss. So there are three major considerations, right, which needs to be kept in mind while you are selecting the accounting policy. These three considerations are prudence, substance over form, and materiality. The concept of prudence is that you should not anticipate profit. You should recognize profit only when you are virtually certain that the profit will be realized. But in case there is a possible or a probable loss which you are going to face, you should make a provision for it in the books of accounts. So you know this is on the premises of the principle of conservatism. Then substance over form. It says that whenever you're doing your accounting activity, whenever you're recording a transaction or an event in the books of accounts, you should look at the substance of the transaction and event rather than merely looking at its legal form. The best example of this is under Accounting Standard 19 when we do finance lease, right? So it is known as a finance lease. It is known as a lease arrangement from its legal form. But while we do the accounting for leases which are in the nature of finance lease, we take it as a loan arrangement and we deal it in the books of accounts as a loan arrangement. So you should look at the substance of the transaction and not merely at the legal form of the transaction if you want to give a true and fair view of the affairs of the organization. And then we'll talk about the concept of materiality. The standard says that all material items should be disclosed. So we ask, what are material items? Basically, material items are those items which have the capacity to influence the decision of the users of the financial statement. So if there's an item which has the capacity to influence the decision of the user of the financial statement, such item should be disclosed. For your benefit, I'll make a simple example so that you actually perceive the concept of materiality. Let's say there is an organization which says that it has a sale of 1000 crore, it has an expenses of, let's say, 200 crore, and there is a profitability, right? There's a profit of 800 crore. So we'll have a very positive outlook towards this company, that it's a highly profitable company. It has a margin of 80%, superb company. But as we know, we are chartered accountants, right? We say that in God we believe and rest we audit. So we drilled down and we understood that the sales of the company is only 100 and there is a sale of PPE, let's say there are certain land, building, plant and machinery which it has sold for 900 crores, and therefore the total sale is showing as 1000 crore, expense of 200 crore and profit of 800 crore. Looking at something like this, our perception towards the company will change, because we'll say that sale is 100 and expense is 200. So basically this company is a loss making company. The 800 crore of profit is largely due to sale of PPE, which is not the normal course of business of the enterprise. So if you hide this particular item, right, the perception of the company will change. So all material items should be disclosed. Now we'll talk about disclosure of accounting policy. We have already understood that for proper understanding of financial statement, all significant accounting policies should be disclosed. Where should you disclose it? Obviously it is for the understanding of the financial statement, so you should disclose it as part of the financial statement. Where should you disclose it? Should you be scattered all over the financial statement? No. Normally our financial statement will have a balance sheet, will have a profit and loss statement, will have a cash flow statement, and there will be notes to accounts. And if you look at any financial statement in the notes to accounts, right, in the very first section it talks about significant accounting policies, and all the significant accounting policies followed by the enterprise are listed at one place, right, so that the user of the financial statement does not have to flip through the financial statement several number of times. It will get it in one place. So disclosure should be made in one place in the financial statement. Now we'll talk about change in accounting policy. See, a fundamental accounting assumption of consistency says that the accounting policies adopted should be consistent from one period to other. But when we look at accounting standard 5, it will give us an option that there are certain circumstances under which accounting policies could be changed. There are three scenarios in which accounting policy can be changed. One, when it is required by a statute, it is requirement of the law, right? Then you have to change your accounting policy. If there is a revision in the accounting standard, or the accounting standard comes up with new or revised requirement, you will have to change your accounting policy. The third option has been given to the management. If the management believe that the change will result in more appropriate presentation of the financial statement, then management is free to change its accounting policy. So if you are changing your accounting policy because of either of these reasons, what should you do? It says, if a change in accounting policy has material effect in the current year, right? You're changing your accounting policy. Because of this change in accounting policy, there's a material effect in the current year. What should you do? The amount by which the financial statement are affected should be disclosed, and if the amount is not ascertainable, you have made a change in accounting policy, but you're not able to identify by what amount your financial statement have been impacted, either wholly or in part, such fact should be disclosed that we have made a change, but we are not able to ascertain the financial impact of such change on the financial statement. Another thing, if this change in accounting policy, you made a change in the current year, but this change in accounting policy does not have a material effect in the current year, but if it can be reasonably expected to have material effect in the later period, in that case also you need to disclose the fact of the change in the year in which the change has been made, even if there is no material effect in the current period, but it is reasonably expected that there will be impact in the later period. Further, it says that if you are making a disclosure of accounting policy, or if you are disclosing a change therein, it cannot remedy a wrong or an inappropriate treatment in your financial statement. For example, we all know that AS2 gives us an option of FIFO, or it gives us an option of weighted average. What your enterprise did, it valued its inventory on LIFO, and it said that we are making a disclosure of the fact. Still, even if you are disclosing that you are making your valuation of inventory on LIFO method, still it is a non-compliance of accounting standard 2. So by this we are done with the content portion of accounting standard 1. Now let us move on to the practical exercise on accounting standard 1. See, generally there are two type of questions which will be asked. One, where they are making a change in the accounting policy and they will ask you to make a suitable note or draft a suitable note which will form part of the financial statement. Other type of question is they will put a scenario in front of you that there are certain changes has been made. You need to identify whether that change qualifies as a change in accounting policy or not. So let us have a look at the first question. It says, in the books of Prashant Limited, closing inventory as on 31st March 15 amounted to 1,63,000 and it has been valued on the basis of FIFO method. The company decides to change from FIFO to weighted average. So till now the company was following FIFO method. Now the company wants to change to weighted average, right? For ascertaining the cost of inventory from the financial year 14-15. So we have the number for 14-15. For the current year end, they want to change its method of valuing inventory from FIFO to weighted average. On the basis of weighted average method, the closing inventory as of 31st March 15 amounts to 1,47,000. So if we are following, let's say FIFO, it is 163k, and if we are following weighted average, it becomes 147k. Realizable value of the inventory on this date is 195. So there is no problem because inventory is valued at cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower, right? So cost is lower than NRV, so we don't need to look at NRV. We will choose between, we'll have to value it at cost. Discuss disclosure requirement of change in accounting policy as per accounting standard 1. First, before we draft the answer for this, you should always understand that such questions, right, on accounting standards should be answered in three portions. First, you should write the relevant text from the accounting standard, that what is the requirement of the accounting standard. The second portion of the answer will be evaluation of the case which has been given to you. You will evaluate that case based on the requirement of the accounting standard which you have stated in the paragraph 1. And then finally the last paragraph will be the conclusion paragraph, where you will basically have to state your opinion, or maybe in this case you will have to draft your note, right, based on the fact that you have to make a separate conclusion. So three paras or three parts in which it should be divided. First, the requirement of the accounting standard, then the evaluation of the case which has been given in the question, and finally the conclusion portion. So see, in this case, there is a change in the accounting policy because earlier it was following FIFO, now it is following weighted average. So if there is a change and if that has a material effect in the current period, right, and here in this case we also know the difference in the amount because the value as per weighted average, right, comes to 163. And the value as per the value as per FIFO is 163 and as per weighted average is 147. So there's a difference of 16k. And if we believe that this 16k is material, then we need to make a disclosure that we have changed our accounting policy in the current year and our financial statement have been affected by around 16k because of such change. So now we'll see how the answer has to be stated. First paragraph will definitely be quoting the text from the accounting standard. So it says, as per accounting standard 1, disclosures of accounting policy, any change in the accounting policy which has a material effect should be disclosed in the financial statement. The amount by which any item in the financial statement has been affected should be disclosed. Where the amount is not ascertainable wholly or in part, that fact should be disclosed. Then we say this is our evaluation of the case. This is the second portion. This is the first portion. In the current case, Measures Prashant Limited has changed its accounting policy of valuing inventory from FIFO method to weighted average method. So normally this portion you will get from your question itself. You can copy paste from there. Prashant Limited should disclose the change in the accounting policy by way of a note as under. So we'll draft a note and we'll say that how the change should be disclosed in the financial statement. So I'll read it through. The company values its inventory at cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. In the current year, the company has changed the method of valuing inventory from first in, first out to the weighted average method, as the management believes this reflects the consumption pattern of inventory in better way, because there are three circumstances in which you could change in statute, change in accounting standard, or on the basis of management. So there is no change in statute or accounting standard. So this is on the basis of management will, that it believes that if the inventory is valued on via weighted average, it will disclose the consumption pattern of the inventory in much better way. As a consequence of such change, the value of inventory as per weighted average method is 147 as against 163 had the inventory been valued in FIFO method. So if the value of inventory falls, the profit will also fall. Right, so as a result of such change, profit for the current period is lower by 16,000. Right, so this is how you need to present it now. Let's look at question number 2. This is question number 2. It says ABC Limited was making provision for non-moving inventory. What is non-moving inventory? Certain inventory which is there in your stock, certain goods which are there in your stock, but they have not moved, they have not been consumed, or they have not been sold off from a substantial period of time. So you have purchased it, but it has not gone out, you have not been able to sell it. So that is why we call it as non-moving item. ABC Limited was making provision for non-moving inventories based on issues for last 12 months up to 31st March 16. So what does it mean issued for last 12 months? It says that if a particular item of inventory hasn't been issued or hasn't been moved or hasn't been sold for a consistent period of 12 months, then we'll classify that inventory as non-moving and we will make a provision on that. The company wants to provide during the year ending 31st March 17 based on technical evaluation. So first method is period based method. If a particular inventory has not moved for a period of more than 12 months, we will say that it is non-moving and we'll make a provision on that inventory as appropriate. Now the management believes that a period basis provisioning policy is not correct. We should evaluate on a technical basis, right? We should look at an item basis and we should say that on the basis of this technical evaluation, should it be classified as non-moving or not. It says total value of inventory is 100 lakhs. Provision required, if you followed the earlier method of 12 months, you would have to make a provision of 3.5 lakh. Provision based on technical evaluation, if you are following the new method of calculating the provision, then your provision will be 2.5 lakhs. So how do you deal with this? See, first of all, we need to evaluate whether there is a change in accounting policy or not. Based on the facts of the case, see, the accounting policy is that the management makes a provision for non-moving or slow-moving item. That is your accounting policy. Now, how do you calculate the amount of provision is basically the method which you are using to calculate the amount of provision, and that cannot be stated as your accounting policy. So in this case, there is no change in accounting policy. Your policy is that you have to provide for non-moving item. You have to make provisions for the non-moving item. The way in which you make the provision could be changed because you will look at the most appropriate method of calculating the amount of provision. So in this answer, we will state that the decision of the management of making provision for non-moving item on the basis of technical evaluation instead of the earlier practice of provision based on 12-month issues does not amount to change in accounting policy. This is just a change in the method in which you are calculating the amount. This is not the change in accounting policy, because your policy is to make provision. The accounting policy of the company may require provision for non-moving items of inventory should be made. The method used to arrive at the amount of provision can be changed based on the facts and circumstance of the case. If the company, based on materiality, believes that the disclosure of change in the process or the method of determining the amount to be made, the following note can be presented in the financial statement. So it says generally you need to disclose if there is a change in accounting policy. But still, if you believe that the amount of change is material enough that you need to update the users of the financial statement of such an amount, you can make a disclosure. We can say in the current year the company has changed the method of determining the provision for non-moving inventory from the earlier method of making the provision on 12 months of issues to provision based on technical evaluation. As a consequence of such change, the amount of provision is lower by 1 lakh, because had you followed the earlier method, you would have made a provision of 3.5 lakh. If you have changed your method, the provision comes to 2.5 lakh, and therefore, right, the provision is lower by 1 lakh. So by this, we are done with the revision of the concepts of the accounting standard 1, as well as we are done with the practical exercise as well. If you like this video, do share it with your friends. Definitely please subscribe to our channel, it will help us a lot. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at the numbers given, or you can even comment in this video. Thank you so much and all the best, guys.